What's up, guys? Will from revolutionarylifestyledesign.com coming to you today to talk about how to be a victor and not a victim. So the world we live in is a world of unlimited wants and limited resources. The things that you want, beautiful women, money, freedom, security, the latest technology, all this stuff is in fierce competition. Okay, every man wants to enjoy a happy, comfortable life with lots of leisure time and lots of women and lots of material goods. And every man deserves these things. In a perfect world, we'd all have access to that. But this world that we live in is far from perfect, and nature doesn't give one single fuck what you deserve. Nature is amoral and unfair, and nature gives the finest things in life to the strong, ruthless, intelligent men who are determined to win and who are ready to play for them. As the saying goes, to the victor goes the spoils. And victory, by its very definition, is a net sum game. For you to win, a lot of people have to lose. Because whatever it is you want, the girl, the client, the house, you've got to take it from someone else, okay? If this bothers your conscience, then victory is not for you, because this is the world that we're born into. People who are perpetual victims can't accept the nature of the world. So instead, they rail about social justice and privilege and oppression and misogyny, and they assume that they are the people who should be able to dictate human behavior. And they are the people who should be able to change human behavior. They think the world is not as it should be. In reality, these people are angry at God. Whether you believe in God or not, they're angry at the way that the world has been created. They preach equality as if nature or God, whatever you want to call it, made anyone or anything equal. And they think they can change the world because they refuse to study the history of the world. And history is written by the victor. The most powerful, the strongest army, the toughest people, the most cunning, the most intelligent. These are the people who built our world. These are the people who wrote the history books. These are the people who got the things that they wanted. Victims don't get anything except abuse. In better days, being a victor was something to be admired. Men were taught to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Self-made men were lionized, and hard work, persistence, and self-reliance defined the noble man. These noble men came together and built a victor nation, the likes of which the world had never seen before. Within just a few generations, America became the most prosperous nation in the history of the world, and for over 100 years, men lived better and more free than ever before. But since then, times have changed. Since then, America has been hijacked by this fanatical cult of progressive collectivists. These social justice warriors who want to handicap the strong and glorify the weak, and victimhood has become elevated to the highest moral plane of the new American religion, which is the oppression Olympics. The very men who built the country that allowed for the freedom of expression and the freedom of the SJW viewpoints to even exist have been deemed oppressive and beyond redemption. The end result is a nation of lazy, whiny, entitled, weak-minded pussies. And America's been brought to its knees by these people and their victim mentality. I don't know about you guys, but I refuse to be a victim. And I refuse despite meeting a lot of the criteria. As a kid, I grew up poor. I grew up without a father. I grew up watching my mom struggle to make ends meet. I didn't know my grandparents because they disowned me for being born out of wedlock. I've had a tough time in a lot of parts of my life, and I could whine about how unfair it is and blah, 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 blah. But whining is what victims do, not men. And I refuse to be a victim because I refuse to let circumstances define me. Instead, I define myself by what I've achieved in life and by my character as a man. And I've taken a negative, and like all negatives on my life, I've done my very best to turn it into a positive. So growing up fatherless could have made me the kind of person who blames the world around me. But instead I chose to become stronger. And the end result is that I became mentally tougher than most guys. I learned early to rely on myself and solve my own problems. And now I get paid to solve problems for other men, to teach other men how to be victors. And that makes me happy every single day of the year. So, how do you become a victor, you might ask? Number one, believe in yourself. Okay, believe in your own self-worth, that you are of value, that you are allowed to exist without feeling guilty, that you are allowed to act within your self-interest, and that you're capable and worthy of good things. Because if you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. Number two, be dedicated. Okay, you have to dedicate yourself to victory. And to do that, you need to develop a mentality of achievement so that you can define yourself by what you're accomplishing. Judge each day by how much you've achieved. Now, you don't want to take that to the point where you only define yourself by your achievements, but you want that to be the bulk of your day, okay? Because otherwise, you fall victim to a pleasure-seeking and avoidance mentality, and it's very easy to end up going through life trying to avoid the things that you don't want to do, and using porn or alcohol or food or drugs or sex as a way to escape the reality that you don't like. When you develop an achievement mentality, then you're able to enjoy your struggle, and you're able to enjoy how much you've achieved and how much you've dominated your environment around you, as opposed to your environment dominating you. Number three, define your mission. What that means is you need to define your life's purpose, what you were put on this planet to accomplish. And this is the most important thing in every man's life. You should be able to tell this to a complete stranger in one sentence. I want to build the most effective self-improvement company in the world. I'm not going to be the biggest. I'm not going to be Tony Robbins, because I'm not going to sell bullshit dreams. But I want to change as many lives from a hyper-applicable, realistic standpoint, which is how I generate my advice, from real-world results, from not bullshitting you guys. And I want to be the most effective personal development company in the world. That's my one-sentence mission. And to do that, I want to change as many lives as I possibly can. Once those things are accomplished, and as I keep growing like I am now, the money just comes in. I provide the value. I don't even have to worry about the money all that much, because all I have to worry about is providing value. I provide value. I offer lots of good content, and my products are best in the field. I make money. That's my mission in life. A man on a mission can change the world, but a man without one is lost, okay? If you don't have a mission right now, or you're wobbly about your mission, you need to really sit down and shape that. I've got a lot of articles on defining your mission in the mind section of my website, as well as various audios and videos that I strongly suggest you check out. Because when you don't have a mission, you're guaranteed not to accomplish anything great. And if you're not trying to be great, then what are you doing here? This is the game of life you're in. and you might not have chose it, but you might as well try and play for the best position you can. Number 4, reframe failure. Failure is an inevitable step on the path to victory. Don't let your losses define you, okay? View the inevitable failures that you're going to have and the setbacks that you're going to have as feedback and learn what not to do. If you're failing right now or you're going through something really rough, that might not sound like the happiest advice. And you're going to think, I don't give a fuck about reframing failure. I just want to be done with this, and I wish I hadn't done that. And that's fine. The key is to learn from that mistake. I have a successful business now because I failed in 5 different businesses before that. But I learned each time from what I did wrong. And once you learn enough and you've made enough mistakes, you finally hit that winner. And all of that is from reframing that failure. I could have just given up and said, you know what, I never should have started a business. I'll just stay in my safe job, and this is as good as it's going to get. And my life would have been completely different, and I would have still hated my reality 50 hours a week as a salesman. Number 5, never quit. Never ever quit on your mission. Once you've designed a mission based on accurate thinking, something that's in the realm of possibility, you've outlined things with a clear head, you've assessed that it's something that you are capable of, do not fucking quit, okay? Your mission or your business has to quit you before you quit. If you go bankrupt, okay. Hey, you can't do anything anymore. But you need to know that you threw everything at the wall, that you gave 110%, you did everything you could. Because if you don't have that mentality, you're going to quit when it gets hard. And it is going to get hard. And it's going to get harder than you thought. That's why most people don't succeed, because they quit. They think, this is way harder than I thought. I'm not cut out for this, and they quit. And that happens to everyone. Everyone goes through that period. And the guys who push through are the guys who succeed. You have to realize that if it's really fucking hard for you right now, tell yourself this is where other people quit. That's why they're failures, and I'm not going to be one of them. When you don't quit, you cannot fail. This is especially true when things get hard. Number 6. Become victorious. Victory at all costs. Victory in spite of all terror. Victory however long and hard the road may be. For without victory, there is no survival. These are the words of Winston Churchill, who resisted the most evil, diabolical, powerful army in the history of our planet. When everyone around him wanted to appease the Nazis and allow them to run in and take over Britain. That was the kind of mentality he had. And that man helped keep our world from being a giant dictatorship. Whether you agree with everything he has to say or not, that kind of mentality can elevate an average man into an extraordinary man. So, the question I have to ask to you today is, are you committed to total victory? Because I've given you the roadmap, but the rest is up to you. And if you're not willing to commit, then I can't help you with anything. I can only help guys who are willing to help themselves. Guys who are willing to do whatever it takes. Guys who refuse to be victims of a cruel, harsh, unjust world. If you're not willing to make that commitment, that's okay. Because the world needs a lot of victims to operate. Victims like the guys who live in a factory in China and work 15 hours a day to make your iPhone. These guys need suicide nets on their windows to stop them from jumping. These guys are sentenced to a lifetime of slavery because they're born in the wrong country at the wrong time, and they would kill for a shot at victory that you have if you are listening to this in a Western country. I feel for those guys. I feel for the janitors of the world, for the guys who pick up roadkill on the side of the highway, but I'm not fucking gonna be one of them. No way, no how. Are you? Because by being born in a Western country, you have an opportunity that people will literally kill for. By being born in a Western country, you have an opportunity that most men around the world can only dream of. Are you going to seize that opportunity, or are you going to squander it? Because at the end of the day, the choice is yours. Are you going to be a winner, or are you going to be a stepping stone on another man's path to victory? Are you going to call the shots, or are you going to call another man your boss? Are you going to beat the system, or are you going to let the system beat you? Are you going to take what you want, or are you going to let another man have it? Are you going to be a victor or a victim? The choice is yours, guys. As always, I wish you all the best.